All right. Welcome to Bring the Juice. Get your freaking piss hot. Fire me up. I got some great people on the pod today. First of all, co-hosting me is Bring the Juice legend, also former roommate, former dog, Hanford's finest, Juju, a.k.a. Juju Huges. Juju, welcome to the show.
So what's up?
Would you like to introduce our guest today?
I will, man. I will like to shout my dog out, man. Glad to have him here today, man. My dog, David Long. Good to have him here today. Welcome.
Thank y'all. Appreciate
Welcome
y'all
to the
having me
motherfucking
here.
show, baby.
First we gonna rock, then we gonna fold, then we let it pop, don't let it go.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
I'm
Yes,
happy to be here.
sir.
Let's start it off real quick, just where we left off. Okay, so you're a Michigan man.
Absolutely.
We'll talk into Fresno State versus Michigan a little bit. 'Cause
Yeah.
we played each other week one this year.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's crack it early.
Yeah. Well, you just mentioned the concept of rivalries. Obviously, the big game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me about Michigan versus Ohio State. Your perspective.
I mean, I'm gonna start off here. I'm gonna be fair. You feel me? I never won against Ohio State. I lost every year. We lost. 2016 was the JT was short. 2017 we smoked it, and then 2018 we got the doors blew off. You know, we were favored to win and then got the doors blew off. But me personally, like, I feel like when you take a rivalry and then you get like just so emotionally caught up, like I'm a very like even keen guy. Like I feel like the moment you allow your emotions to involve yourself in anything, like it's like you're just being swayed by whatever the momentum is. So like for me, like I never thought about the Ohio State game like, man, like I gotta just da-da-da-da. I'm like, I gotta do my job. The same way I gotta do my job next week.
Right.
You feel me? Like every week is serious for me, no matter who I'm lining up against. Now, the part of it that becomes personal when it's like people single me out. So if I get into a game and somebody's talking shit or saying whatever the case may be, now it's personal.
Right.
Now it's personal within that moment. But like going into it, I'm not gonna allow my emotions to sway me any way, which way. Like I just know I gotta do my job for us to win. So like when it comes to rivalries, I felt like personally the Michigan State rivalry was a lot more disrespectful than the Ohio State rivalry. When I played, it was always like a mutual respect. Like there was trash talking every game, but leading up to the game, there was rarely any just crazy statements on either side. Michigan State, maybe it was just because we were in closer proximity, but every time we played them leading up into the game, it was just crazy talk. So it's like there's a little bit more momentum leading up to the game. It's an in-state rivalry. Like we probably see those guys a little bit more often. And you also got to understand, like I'm an out-of-state dude, so
Right.
I didn't grow up in the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. So for me, like Harbaugh used to always say, nameless and faceless. Like whoever we play, I'm turned up. Like I'm with everybody else on who we with. So whether we playing Ohio State or we playing Purdue or we playing Bowling Green, like I'm turned up for the game. We ready to go. I'm ready to do my job.
It's the next one on the
You
schedule.
feel me? Next one on the schedule. That's the most important one.
Ready to handle business, whatever's next.
Exactly. That's it. You feel me?
Just talk about being in those rivalries a little bit. I know you talk about not getting too wound up in it and everything, but like just like those, you guys are big universities. You know, we went to Fresno State. We're smaller schools and whatnot. Like you guys are big universities, big schools. So talk to me just a little bit about like how actually being in those games is, like how packed out those crowds are, everything like that.
1000%. So I would say that's the difference. Like regardless about how I feel about the game, I know externally this is a big moment. Like, and I understand that when I went to Penn State and we played in a whiteout, we played Saquon 2017.
Oh, that game.
Yeah, it's so loud that you got to call a timeout to get the playoff. Or we go to the shoe in 2018, the year I said we got the doors blew off. Like Urban Meyer's retiring, you got players crying before the game, and like just all this momentum and energy outside of the stadium. And I feel like for me, in order for me to play my best game, it's best for me to separate myself from that.
Right.
Because like we're all emotional and like just like human beings. So like if you allow that to just creep into your mind and into your mental, it's like you're swayed by whatever's going on, so to speak. So it is a lot of energy going into those games, man. Like Ohio State, like I feel like it's almost enough energy to where like not where you would want to cry, but it's like you're just like it is a lot. It's a lot going on. You feel me? Like it's like
You know what to do.
That adrenaline hits earlier than it usually does.
exactly. Like it's a lot going on. Like you just like, man, it's a big game, and it's like the game is at noon. It's the last game of the year. Everybody's watching this game. Like so,
It's a big game, yeah.
You understand that for the week of prep. Like I'm knowing, you know, on Mondays when I'm going through practice, like this the one. You know, like I can't afford to mess up. It's different when you got a 1 p.m. start against whoever. Nobody's watching this game. It's on Big Ten Network. this game, everybody is staying up for this game. Everybody's waiting on this game. So you got to be locked in. So there's a sense of urgency in that sense that I understand that the stakes are different.
Right.
But I'm not looking across and saying, oh, I got to do this and that. Like, that's my mindset every time I line up against whoever I'm with, you know? Like, so the stakes are different. The environment's different. The crowd is definitely different. Like, that's probably the biggest blessing. And I guess I wouldn't even say, I guess blessing or just like the biggest asset of playing in the Big Ten, and I got to play in these crazy environments.
Right.
Like going to Iowa, I played at night at Iowa. We lost in 2016 my freshman year. Lost a night game at Iowa, played in Penn State, played at the Shoe, played in Michigan State. Like I played, you know, at Wisconsin when they played jump around in the third quarter. Like these are all hostile environments where it's like you have to separate yourself from all the momentum going on outside because it's like, I still got a job to do. Like, it's lit in here. You feel me? Like, it's lit. Like, and I've had those moments, and these are moments I'll talk about till I'm old and gray. Is like where you look around, maybe you're on the bench or you're coming back to the sidelines, timeout, and you stop for a second and you allow yourself to take it in and immerse yourself into the crowd where it's like, this is 100,000 people going wild.
This is fucking college football, baby.
Like, it's college football.
This is college football right here.
Like, and it's like you for that second, you're like, I'm here. Like, I'm here. I'm in it. Like, I'm not just here and I'm witnessing it. I'm not here and I'm watching somebody else doing it. I'm here and I'm doing it. I'm doing this shit. Right. So it's like, it's kind of hard to balance that and like, all right, I'm here, and then lock in. It's like, I got to go do my job. So,
right.
But like I said, that would probably be like the biggest difference where it's like, for me personally, I feel like for me to be able to do my job, and I think about this from even when Super Bowl situation, I go into the situation like, man, like it's like any other game. I got to do my job. Right. And then afterwards or in small moments, I'll take it in, like I said, you know, halftime or whatnot.
Yeah. You mentioned hostile environment. I mean, that was a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned hostile environments. Out of everything you've been in, we'll get into the pro side of things too. What is the most hostile environment you've been in?
Man, I gotta say Penn State, whiteout.
That game's, I mean, that's YouTube classic with the 2017. I got
those one of the ones they show earlier.
I think it's the intro to the freaking college football game this year.
Yeah, that's one of them.
So I say that, and I'll walk y'all through this. So like, my DB coach was a Penn State alum. He's like a top 100 player to go through to Penn State, and so the game was hyped up in our room. Like he's like, man, like these guys are physical, like. And he like frowns upon anybody that goes to Penn State and doesn't wear the lion or whatever the right way. And so we get into the game. It's college football. It's college game day. You know, they got Saquon, of course. So we're going to the game like, man, like this is gonna be a moment. Like this is big for either of us.
Right.
And so we get there, hotel's weak, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm really feeling Happy Valley. But all this time, people are telling me when I got to the Big Ten, like, it's lit, it's lit, it's lit.
Right.
We get to the game, bro. It's dark. So the locker room is kind of like under the stadium. And like the locker room's kind of like shaking. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I go outside to warm up. It's cracking a little bit, but it's not going for
This is warm up where you're still like in your shorts and shit. Yeah.
I get out there.
It's early.
It's early. Yeah, it's cracking a little bit, but it's not going. I come back inside. As I'm inside, I'm putting on my stuff. I can hear it like heating up.
It's going.
Like it's heating up. Like, okay. Bro, I get outside. We under the like it's like you under the bleachers. You hear it. They're playing. I always say this. It's the Lil Uzi song, "Sauce It Up." Every time I hear it, I think about this song.
Yeah.
They're going crazy. We get outside, and it's just like this, bro. It feels like I'm in an NCAA game. Like you know when the screen's shaking like this.
Yeah, they start rattling.
That's how I feel when I'm going out, and I'm like, yo, like this is it. Like,
yeah.
And the crazy thing about it is, other stadiums they got like season like even Michigan. Like when I was there, we sell out 100,000 every week. But, a good portion of that is people that have had tickets for 60 years. They're older people.
Right. They're not getting rowdy.
It's 100,000 18 to 22-year-olds. People going crazy.
Drunk as shit. And it's like, yo,
talking shit, bro.
It's wide out game.
It's wide out. It's, bro. And the thing is, it's going crazy. Yeah. And, like, I ended up catching a pick in that game. And it was crazy.
Let them know. Let them know.
Caught a pick, man.
Gotta talk about it. Caught a
pick that game. You can hear a pin drop.
You got upturned.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, like, I would say this.
Shut the fuck up.
That's not even the thing that I remember. I remember Saquon scored on like this 70-yard run. We were doing a decent job maintaining him up until one point because he had a good game overall.
Just try to maintain.
Yeah. You gotta do it.
Yeah, but you got that win.
No, we lost.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Unfortunately,
that was the year they.
My bad, bro.
If we would have lost, my tone would be completely different. But if we'd have won, my tone would have been completely different. But it got out of hand at one point. But we get in there, and Saquon cuts back and has a 70-yard run. And I'm chasing after him. And I remember in the midst of chasing after him, it's like, it's so loud. Like, I was standing next to somebody right here, and I'm screaming, and he can't hear me. Like, everybody's going like berserk. Like, it's like, I'm looking around, I'm like, bro, like this, I've never been anything like this. Like, people are screaming, I can't hear you, you're right here. And it's like, to the point where it's like, if you're not mentally strong or like tapped in, your mind's gonna
fold. You're gonna fold.
Not even fold. And it's like, I don't know, there's like, the lights are super bright. It's like, it's almost like a movie. Like, you know how the kind of like the monotone or like the aura that Friday Night Lights has, where it's like everything is focused on the field. That's how it feels there.
Yeah,
like, it's like it's 100,000 people screaming, jumping, doing all this, and then it's like there's all these people just going crazy, bro. Like the music was live, bro. That shit was like the club. I ain't gonna lie. That shit was like the club.
Well, I feel like the closest thing we went to where you couldn't hear shit was probably UW.
Yeah, I was about to say,
that shit is architectured to where you can't hear shit.
The sound
and we played Bama, #1 Bama the week before, and that
was chill.
I did not think that was that loud.
Yeah,
like, you go to UW,
chilling, like they disrespected, like they was
all
chilling.
All right. Hey, bring it in.
UW didn't care who it was.
And we covered the spread.
That's how I felt with Bama. Like they was like,
we covered the spread, bro. But I'm saying UW came in because Bama was 1, UW was 3, and it was like we were 1-11 the year before. We were on like this prove it tour.
Yeah,
that shit was loud as fuck, and that's the only time I really remember like return to the box, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, like,
what did he say?
They were good, so it was and sailgating's lit. My mom's like, sailgating looks really fun. We should come back here for a game.
Lit, bro. And that's the thing. That's what I say. Like, that's when you know the environment is hostile. When it's like you hear something that normally it clicks for you, but when you hear it, it's like, what? Like, I don't even know what you talk. Like, it's like I hear it, but it's not registering because there's so much shit going on outside of me.
But it's kind of that's what makes college football great, bro.
No, the thing is, like 100%. I said, I feel like because of that, I was never really intimidated by any environment when I got to the league. And I was also kind of underwhelmed when I got to the NFL because
it's not as
outside
crazy,
of like the AFC North, Seattle, a few other places, Niners, they should be kind of jumping sometimes, but like there's no consistent level of just like fanfare and just mayhem like over the course of a game. Like when I was in the Big Ten, it's like if we went to, unless you're going to like Northwestern or like Purdue or something, it's crazy, bro. Nebraska could be 0 and whatever.
That was our first game, bro.
Yeah, like it could be 0 whatever.
First game ever. Punt return, bro. The punter passed away, and
oh shit! And you don't want to
first play ever punt return. They went out with 10 guys. Everyone in the stadium was given a balloon, and they went out with 10 dudes. There was like a moment of silence. Everyone let go of the balloons because it was the first punt.
That shit's unfair, bro.
And this place.
This is my first college play.
My first play in college. That's crazy. That was both our first plays.
Yeah, first play.
That's kind of like the Iowa wave to the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're waving to you too.
It's different. It's different. So would you say
it's more odds at that point?
But I just feel like there's just when things like that happen in those type of stadiums, it's just like I don't know what it is. It's like an energy shift, bro. It's like they suck all the air out of the stadium.
Bro, you talk about bring the juice. That is like peak juice right now.
Bro.
That's the peak of juice. Like I was talking I interviewed Kendall recently, and like he played at Georgia, so we were talking about some experiences in the SEC, and I'm just thinking like, bro, peak Johnny Manziel when he beat Alabama that game.
Crazy.
That couldn't there's no higher juice than Johnny Manziel playing football freshman year and beating Alabama. That's peak.
That's peak. If you want,
I would just want to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, just to watch that.
For that pregame, postgame, and after the game, just watch campus.
Him himself, his whole team, they were just so turned. All of them, like.
But the thing is, it really was a one-man show.
Yeah,
like
he had a team full of league dudes.
But that man, no. He says
he was different though. Like he was different.
But it wasn't. He wasn't like rolling out, just slinging the pill. The shit he was doing.
That's what I'm saying. Like
he's
doing
incredible.
high school, like shit that you do in high school, where it's like that's not gonna happen.
It's some backyard bullshit.
He's doing that.
He still was making this shit.
He's 18.
Bro, and that's
Alabama at that.
Winning the Heisman?
He's doing shit like that against Alabama.
You're freshman, you're featured in a Drake song. Fucking 3 months later.
Different. You're automatically on a different.
You cannot. That's the most turnt college experience you could possibly have.
That's what I'm saying.
Definitely,
absolutely insane.
Okay, so what's the most? What would you say is the most top tier conference then in college football? Are you claiming the Big Ten? Or are you gonna give it to the SEC? Because Fresno State is a satellite member of the SEC on the West Coast. We get fucking turned.
I mean, this is what I say. I feel like SEC, Big Ten, 1A, 1B, however you want to put it. I put the Big Ten in that situation because I feel like you also have to add the element of weather into that. And that's the most closest thing you're going to get to the NFL.
Oof.
Because, like, SEC, it's like the weather's – I'm not going to say weather's always nice because places like Kentucky, it does get cold. But it's like –
You're not playing snow games.
Exactly. You're not playing snow games. And, like, that matters. Like,
Man,
going
that
into
matters.
a big – you're going to a game. Everything's outside.
Boy, do we know it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm like, I feel like for me, the Big Ten, as far as getting prepared, and I feel like with that conference, I say both 1A, 1B because they both have a mixture of like offenses. Some of them are like pro style, run it. You got some teams that'll spread it out, throw the ball, 30, 40 times a game. It's a little mix up, but it's also like the overall brand of the conferences is physical.
Right.
Like it's not really like speed and space. And there's nothing wrong with that because Ohio State kind of has like a speed and space, but it's still a physical brand of football.
Yeah, right.
And then like you also got to add in the element of, like I said, like the weather, bro. Like I'm from California. I had never really seen the snow before I went to Michigan. We played at Indiana maybe like the second or third last week of the season, my freshman year, ground covered in snow. I'd never seen no shit like that. And that's what I'm saying. Like getting ready to play in them games, it's like, all right, mentally, I'm locked in and I'm ready.
Wyoming.
But it's like, you got to be ready when it's cold outside and you sitting on the bench for 2 minutes. It may be a slow drive. Or they're not throwing a ball for 2 or 3 drives. And now you got to stay locked in for the run game and the pass game. And it's like, that's where I feel like there's an element of you get everything in the Big Ten.
Right.
Like, and I feel like, with it, same with SEC, it's some of the better teams in the country. Like you're going to play. I was in the Big Ten East, so we have a gauntlet. We have to play Penn State, have to play Michigan State, and we have to play Ohio State at the end of the year. And that's something that people don't really understand. Like for us, like people always say Michigan loses. But I'm like, bro, like for instance, my year, we lost the first game of the year to Notre Dame. We won every single other game. We lost to Ohio State, and we couldn't go to the conference championship because of that. Because it's the last game of the year. And that's what I'm saying. Like, do people not understand how hard it is to be good for 12 weeks straight?
It's hard to win football games,
Just
bro.
saying, like, it's hard to win for 1 week, but you got to think about it. You could be good for 11 weeks straight, and then you okay for that 12th week and lose, and now people are telling you you're the worst in the world.
It's hard to be perfect.
And I'm like, and that's to say, like, it's like for them, like, I felt like with the Bamas and stuff like that, because of the way the conference is set up, they're allowed to lose a game and still be relevant in the conference championship.
Right.
We can be undefeated heading into that Ohio State game. We lose that game, pack it up.
Because they're saying, hey, the Big Ten doesn't have as big of a strength of schedule, maybe, or it's
Well,
not
no,
as
it's just-
it doesn't have that SEC bias almost.
Well, yeah, I feel like we don't have that, and because,
I'll agree with that.
Yeah,
that's
and
fair.
because partially, I mean, Michigan's partially to blame because before I got there was kind of a lapse in like just production and talent. So it was more so like Ohio State was kind of just like winning by. It was Ohio State, Wisconsin, kind of back and forth between the Rose
Right.
Bowl. And so I feel like now that Michigan State, Penn State's kind of inserted themselves back into the conversation, it helps the entire conference. But I mean, I feel like we didn't have the SEC bias, and the way I felt is like in the SEC, it was only when I was in college, it's Bama that's going to be like elite.
Right.
And then everybody else, it's like I feel like it's like every other conference. Like they're gonna have one or two dark horses, and then if LSU is good that year, okay, they're good. But like it's not like the entire conference is great. Like we played Florida the beginning of my sophomore year and beat the living shit out of them in Dallas, and that's supposed to be like a blue chip program,
Big boy, yeah,
in the SEC. And that's what I'm saying. So it's like I feel like everybody's even, and it's like I feel like they gave Alabama the pass to say the SEC is great. But it's like when other conferences has a team that's really good, they're like, well, it's only that team.
Right.
But it's like, I feel like the SEC is kind of like similar. It's like, but the only difference with them is, I guess you could say that they trade off that second or third team. Sometimes Mizzou will be good. Sometimes you might have an LSU or might have a Tennessee might have a good year 1 year. So it's like, that's the only difference. But I mean, I would say to your question, a 1A, 1B kind of thing. Like, and I'm taking the Big Ten, like I said, the weather, but it's whatever you decide, 1A, 1B.
So Fresno State, no dogs, opens up at Michigan this year. The undefeated Natty champs.
Absolutely. Hopefully I'm in the building.
I'm gonna be there.
Oh, wow.
They gonna be there.
I got two bros that play,
Okay.
so I'm there. I'm coming in hot too, bro.
Hey, man.
If you're there, seriously, this link.
I like
Yeah.
the little Dalena touchdown.
I would say, man, if I'm there, we get an episode over there.
Too, bro.
Tell me.
I'm linking up with Muti
oh yeah,
and Sean McKeon.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I was going to say, I'm probably going to do
Little Michigan.
I've
trip.
never been to a game as a fan. So, I'm going to get
me either as a Michigan.
I'm going to get the full experience. Tailgate,
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna do the whole night?
You were Sean. We'll get after it. Sean's
no,
a fucking boy.
Yeah,
Did you
absolutely.
play with Luke Schoolmaker?
So he's like a little bit younger than I was, but he's super cool dude, bro. Like,
I've had him on too. He's great.
super solid dude. Like when I was my last year, my junior year, like if I needed work with like a bigger body receiver, he would stay up to practice, bro, give me
Right.
work, fades, just like press work. So first off, I'm super happy for him. Like
he's been
everything
hooping.
he's been hooping. But like, man, I'm super proud of him and just like
Right.
I knew from then when he was a young guy and he wasn't playing, but he really cared about the game and his craft. So super
He's a
happy for
master.
him.
So what's your what do you think Fresno State's going to bring to the table come week 1? Because I got my theories. I also got small side bets.
Okay, so I think I'm always interested to see a smaller team's mindset when they come to the big house because it's like
We're just a smaller team. All right, keep going.
no. I'll say this because it's like it's house money. Like
Playing with house
and nobody expects you to win. So the best, like I feel like those are the best odds for me. Like I feel like when nobody expects you to do anything, that's when you do something. Like when you have expectations to be like, all right, well, we think they're gonna make it this. That's when it's kind of hard because now you're playing to the expectations. But when there's nothing on the board, those are the scariest people, honestly, because they have nothing to lose.
You know Fresno State's known for like knocking dudes off too.
No, absolutely. I don't think Fresno State's bad. Like when I was in college, they were. Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're bad at all. I mean, when I was in college, like I said, they were always top 25 at some point in the season. Like I don't think it's like just a dog, whatever conference.
years, yeah.
I mean, we was ranked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I got 2 fun facts. Okay.
2 dog facts here.
No, these are 2 fun. These are
Talk
2
to
fun
me.
facts relevant towards this game.
Talk to me.
Let me hear.
Michigan lost to Appalachian State in 2007.
They absolutely did.
They did.
Nobody else would know.
Another fun fact. I was 8. No, I was 10.
That's great.
No, 9.
Second fun fact: Fresno State is undefeated playing Big Ten teams week 1 since 2023.
Oh.
Since
2023? Hey, you said that so good. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. You said that so smooth. I forgot it was 2024.
I'm crispy like a waffle, baby.
Now look.
Yeah.
Hey,
Undefeated.
so me and Mike talked about this with Sean McKeon, and I said, okay, here's what I think is going to happen.
Here.
First of all, big supporter of Fresno State, obviously.
Yeah, biggest one of the
I don't know what's going to happen. I know they're gonna throw as many hands as possible.
Yeah.
I promise you, Michigan is going to be getting motherfucked at halftime by their coaches. I don't know what the score is going to be at the final end, but it's going to be a dog. They're not Jeff Tedford will get these guys prepared to throw everything they can at them to where they'll hang with them to an extent.
Okay,
you guys got so much depth to where I don't know how that's going to work out.
Well, see, this is the thing. This is the better year for that because they're still figuring out the quarterback situation. Lost a lot of guys on defense. As it stands right now, there's no true weapon on offense as it seems. So
although your running back's the fucking cover of the EA magazine.
No. I'm saying like
and his stats.
Receiver. No. Donovan's really good, but
He's great. But
I'll say this: there's a lot of uncertainty on both sides. But I will say this:
no, we got certainty. Go ahead.
I will say this, and I'm just thinking about Mountain West because we played Hawaii.
Oh, bro, that's different
my
category.
freshman year.
different category.
And the approach they took is the one I hope you guys don't take.
What did they take?
I remember that.
They came as the week.
Yeah.
They said they gave us bulletin board material. They're like, they're ranked top 10. They gotta show us why we're ranked top 10. 63-0.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do that. I just think that they're gonna be. It's gonna be strategic. Jeff Tedford's gonna come with a game plan.
And I feel like this. I mean, new head coach, a lot of new coaches. It's a lot of people got to figure it out, but it's all about how you guys handle being in the big house.
Was it week one? Week 1, you played Hawaii.
Yeah.
See, that's why I think week 1 works to our advantage.
No, absolutely.
Don't know yet.
They don't really know what's happening.
Yeah.
You don't know what we got.
Yeah,
no.
It's good for like us going in against them just because like they have the new coach.
You walk out, it's like
Like I said,
next week you're playing Sac
It's a real
State.
just put the ball down, let's play for everybody right now. Like,
but that was my point exactly. Week 1, there's no film. There's no expectation for you guys.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are coming to big house, defending national champions. Like, everybody is writing you guys off. And for me, like I said, for me
You
personally.
got Texas the next week.
Yeah.
We call them trap games.
Yeah, because you're thinking about week 2. And so
Damn
look,
near.
and so that's the thing. Look, I say
I feel like you think Fresno State's gonna win. Then what are you talking about?
We're not saying that. We're not saying
You trying to
that.
slide that one?
Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I feel like
Will we cover?
What's the spread?
That's a great question. We gotta look that up.
I think it's like.
Get that info.
Anybody got it? Anybody got it? Spread
on that one.
Yeah.
I think I got. What's my bet with Sean? It's like 19 and a half at halftime or something
I
like
like
that.
19 and a half.
At halftime?
At halftime is crazy.
I hammered the fucking under. I was like, I got that shit.
19 and a
It's
half.
supposed to be a jersey if we win it. But I owe onions for life.
19 and a half.
like the whole farm.
19 and a half at halftime is kind of crazy because I don't think, especially the first couple of weeks, unless it's just a bad team, like they're just all over the place, that's not going to happen. Now, that second half, it can get out of hand.
What did I initially say?
Yeah, no.
What did I initially say? I said, I think at halftime,
Yeah.
they're going to be saying, don't let these hang around with you.
Yeah.
You better pick it up. Fresno State's going to be saying, we're going to be saying, hey, we got
What's
this,
the
bro.
spread?
Minus 20 for the game.
For the game?
Oh, they're covering the spread.
Yeah, I like.
They're going to cover
We
the
are?
No.
You're going to cover the spread?
For the game? Minus
I don't
20?
know, bro.
20 is a good.
Minus 20?
I don't know, bro.
You got to think about it. Y'all could be down by 10. You don't think they're going to score 2 more touchdowns before the game ends? That's 1 a quarter.
I know you guys are playing, so we can't talk about betting, but I don't play, so I can talk about betting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just going to say this, bro. Vegas knows. They know, bro.
Where the money's at.
They know, bro.
This-
People are going to be looking at the card and saying, Fresno State, hammer
Yeah.
Michigan. I'm telling you, bro.
I'll tell you what it is, bro.
People are going to buy it's 20. That's a football number, bro.
I'm going to tell you what it is.
I would like it better if it was 22.
They want people to think like you. 'Cause look, there's going to be games on there, and people are going to look at that game and say, I got one.
Yeah, I
but
got
that's the
one.
one that's the gimme. The one that you don't think is the gimme, that's the gimme. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, bro. It's going to look like they're going to cover, and then they're going to score. Like, it's going to be 7 minutes left in the third, and they're going to end up losing by 30 points.
Bro, I think it's Oppo. I think you guys might be up, and then it's going to be like, hey, did they just score a quick 13 points real quick? Like, holy shit, they covered? Like,
I mean, I feel like we got the number 1 corner
great.
in college football. We got one of the better interior rushers.
You got great interior rushers.
Yeah. And, I mean, most defense in football in general is just pass rush and cover. So I'm assuming that you guys don't have 2 just dogs outside. So we going to send Will to whoever getting the ball, and then the other person, he got to eat.
We got some.
And so I don't see nobody just
worried.
coming in there week 1 going 120, 2 tuds on Michigan. I don't see it.
We got a nice little spread out.
That's what I'm saying.
score,
But spread out ain't going to cover the spread, though.
We got some, yeah.
Y'all need somebody who going to come in there and just...
It's supposed to be a high power offense this year. The offense is a lot of
I think we
returning.
hoop. I think we hoop. I think we hoop.
Yeah, I think they score points. I like our offense to score some points. They're all
Beauty of it is,
returning.
man, only time will tell.
Yeah.
What's the
I
most
don't
that
like
was
to
put
say
up
too
last
much.
year?
I like to let it rock out.
What was I don't even know how much Michigan left up. Oh, they left up no points a game last year, huh? Like 7 points a game.
Oh yeah, they're just
Nah, on average, defense did really well, yeah.
yeah. Last year they was on some.
Well, they're also one of the lowest teams in returning production. You got to consider that. I'm saying this is week 1. If it's week 6, I'm like, yeah, they're locked in.
Like I said, I feel like because it's at Michigan, it's going to be, that's the element that you have to understand where it's like, I'm not saying that you guys are like intimidated, but it's like, it's
Not used to that.
It's a different environment to play in for week 1.
Yeah.
Like I would feel more the way that you would feel if it was like, all right, it's kind of in the season. You guys have played some games. You know what you got. And it's like, all right, you have a better attack plan. The hardest games to play are the ones like week 1 through 3 where it's like, there's really no film.
If we played week 0, it might be in our advantage. Nah, because then they could watch film. I don't know. Anyways, it's fun to chirp about.
I got Michigan though for the record. And I got us covering the spread.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Go
I'll make some side
go-
bets.
go dogs, you know.
I'll do a Sean McKeon side bet.
I do a spread
I'll
bet
do
or
a-
something.
I'll do a Sean
I'm
McKeon
a
side bet.
Spread bet. You know I'm rocking with the dogs. for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm taking the
Got
dogs
to.
too.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say too much. I
what I'm
think we're
saying.
gonna score some points, keep it nice. You know, I don't think it's gonna get too out of hand with the guys we got coming.
Well, we
back.
got produce. We got some dog. It'll be a dog fight. People are gonna be like, "Oh shit!" It's on Prime TV too.
That's on Prime.
It's on.
I always like these games for Fresno,
It's on
though.
NBC night game.
Oh yeah, I might have to pull up, man.
Somebody from Fresno
why you think they did
takes
that?
their name off this game, like a game like this. It always happens like that.
Zero the hero, baby.
New head coach.
Watch out, number 0.
Yeah, Lil Dalena, Lil,
Oh,
yeah,
bro, about to go crazy.
yeah.
Let's talk your NFL journey now.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, let's
That was
get
fun.
there.
was
Little college relapse here.
Nah, bro, it was the boys getting a little rowdy. A little Saturday.
Only
afternoon.
right.
Go down the college path.
All right. Go to the Rams. You meet Jew.
Yeah.
Let's just start there. Hold on. You getting to the Rams. You being from Pasadena
Yeah.
and being drafted by the Rams.
From LA to Michigan, back to LA.
Back to LA, man. How did that feel? Being drafted? I was undrafted, just signed to the Rams. It was exciting being a Cali kid.
Let him know.
You're an LA kid getting to come back. You were drafted 3rd round. Talk to me about that a little
Yeah,
bit.
no,
man.
absolutely, man. It was. I was actually just talking to somebody outside about it, bro. Like, I had met Les Snead in like 2015 when the Rams were moving from St. Louis to LA.
Okay.
Just met him on a humbug
Yeah, it just ran. It was ran.
in the coach's office, sitting there talking, chopping it up. And it's crazy because my boy had like kind of asked him like, what's needed for like a great franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, they didn't really have the results, but he's like, man, first thing you gotta do is get a running back. They had Todd Gurley at the time.
Yeah, okay.
And he's like, we kind of build around that. And it's like when you say that in that moment and you guys are under 500, it just sounds like bullshit. But to see that come to fruition in 2018 when they're playing in the Super Bowl, it's like he had a vision for this in 2015, how he was going to build it. Like it took some time, but he got to where he wanted
did
to.
what he
got
talked
the pieces,
about.
got his
Yeah.
quarterback, got, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, made some plays on defense. You get a guy like Aaron Donald, who's arguably one of the best players ever to play the game.
Man,
You look up on that draft. So it's like, seeing that was like super dope. But like I said, just like I got a chance to meet him, and they brought me in on a visit. And I remember this. I always talk to people about this. Is like my agent. He had me do this thing where I rank like teams of like where I think I'm gonna go.
This is pre-draft.
Pre-draft, like before
Yeah.
where I think I'm gonna go. LA was between 29 and 32.
Oh shit.
Because I'm like, they brought me in for a visit. I didn't get a chance to speak with Wade Phillips. He was out. I spoke with the coaches. They loved me, but like I never heard from them after that. Like they didn't call to check up on me. Like other teams were like calling, like
You were hearing from
yeah,
them.
like I remember like Chicago, like Indy, like they were hitting me up like, man, you good, you healthy. Like I remember Chicago, I flew out here like a good portion of the staff to like work me out like right before the draft, and I'm like, all right, well I'm probably gonna go there, like I'm thinking that.
They at the top of the list.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, man, they're at the top of the list.
Yeah.
So draft rolls around, and like, of course, first day, I'm like, all right, I'm probably not gonna go in the first round, but Mike's just like, just watch it just to see how it goes. First corner goes off the board late. DeAndre Baker gets drafted like 31. So I'm like, okay, slides everybody back. Because Greedy Williams is supposed to go like top 15, top 10. At one point, he's supposed to go top 5. But that slides everybody back.
Yeah.
Come in second day, Chicago goes, Indy goes. Chicago ends up drafting David Montgomery. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, I don't know if they're really messing with me, And I was picked 79th. I think David Montgomery was picked somewhere in the 70s. I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on that. But I get a call. And I go to pick up the phone, and like I don't really know how the draft thing works. So I go to pick up the phone, and the call fails. So in my mind, I'm like, well, shit, like, are they just gonna pick somebody else?
Bro,
It's over.
So
my iPhone tripped out.
not
shit.
even my iPhone tripped out. Like I went to answer the call, and it's like the call canceled.
Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, so I'm telling my agent, he's like, call back. I'm calling back. So I'm calling back. Then I get another call, and I'm on the phone with Indy, and because they had picked Rocket Sin, I think the second round or whatever. On the phone with Indy, they're kind of like just talking. I think at this point, I don't know if they were going to trade up or what the case may be. They were just kind of talking. And then as I'm on the phone with them, my agent gets a call from the Rams, and he's like, you're going to LA. You're getting picked by LA. And like for me, it was like super surreal because I'm like, man, I get to be at home. Like I'm playing with Marcus Peters, the keeps league, Eric Weddle, Clay Matthews, Aaron Donald's here.
Forgot about Clay.
It was like we had a star-studded roster, bro. Like Todd Gurley was still there. And I think the coolest thing about getting drafted there is like there's a thing in the league where people say like California cool. And I felt like the entire roster was that. Like Andrew Whitworth reached out to me within 10 minutes of me getting drafted, man. You need anything, whatever the case may be. Even though I'm a kid from out here, and that's an O-lineman. I'm
Such a vet move.
Yeah, like inside.
He's the ultimate vet, huh?
So like TG, super solid dude, man. Like, and I felt like these are all star-studded guys in my eyes, but they were all down to earth. Like if I ever needed anything, like whatever the case may be, like they were super solid. So when it came down to just like the overall, just me being drafted to LA, like it was dope. It was kind of hard just dealing with like.
Were you in LA the day they got drafted?
Yeah, I was in Pasadena.
Did you drive over there?
No. But that's the thing. That's another thing. Like people have this misconception that like when you get drafted, you get money and then you go to them like
That day.
Uber exit.
Yeah. So now like I'm gonna be honest. When I got drafted, I'm gonna tell you what I did. I had a little get together. You know, it was really for my family. I'm not really a dude that like, you feel me, throw parties, nothing like that. I'll be kicking back.
Chill,
Like it's on some. You want to pull up, you can pull up. But if not.
I like those vibes.
Yeah, but my mom, she wanted everybody to pull up, whatever the case may be. I don't really like all the fanfare, all that stuff. So anyways, my grandmother there, a little bit of my family, I get drafted. Everybody going crazy. And like, really, I walked outside, talked to Les, talked to Sean, talked to them. And then I kind of chilled for a little bit. And then it was a normal night, bro. Like, I went to Wingstop, went back home.
You went to Wingstop?
Gotta get through, yeah.
I know all y'all
Gotta get
friends.
the Wingstop.
Lonnie's at sponsorship, bro.
I went to Wingstop, bro. Drove back. I actually drove back down to Irvine down here because I was training out here with Proactive. And then I just went to sleep, bro. They told me like, all right, we're gonna send you some paperwork. You're gonna report, 2 weeks from today. And honestly, I didn't get paid by the Rams, like my signing bonus money until like probably like right before training camp.
You got that welcome to California check?
Bro.
You got that welcome to California, baby.
And I was gonna say, and that was,
Okay, you said Cali boys. I was like, yeah.
yeah, and that was another thing. Like, I'm a fairly like smart dude, but you don't understand how taxes work until it's your money.
That first check hits. You
So like,
see?
Cut it in half.
I'm gonna just put this in perspective, and it's just a small example. So like, they're like, we're gonna break it up into the installments. And so it's this money here, this chunk here, this small chunk here, this chunk, and then we're gonna give you the rest after the season. So one of the portions was $100,000. So at this point, I'm thinking like, man, $100,000, like
That's big money.
I'm good. Like I'm feeling good, bro. Bro, that check hit and was $47,000.
I was gonna say,
Bro, I called our player personnel. Jock, I'm like, yo, like, is there a mix
They
up?
messed up.
Like, it gotta be a mess up, bro. Like, I'm like,
47. They told me 100.
I'm like, how does 100 go to 47, bro? Like, it's impossible. I'm like, who's getting the money? Like, it's like for 2 days, I literally thought like they messed up or somebody just took too much. I'm like,
man said Gavin Newsom.
bro, like, it was insane. But like I said, like, that was an experience. And then just like going to LA as a whole, I was happy to be back home. I was, of course, out in Michigan. I thought I was going to go back to the Midwest or somewhere far. So being able to be back home and play with some of these players. And it also ended up, it was more alignment and God's timing because I got to be around some vets.
Right.
That helped me later on in my career.
Man.
Just like learning from them, like learning so much. Like I think of myself as like a guy I'm very talented physically, but as far as like the game of football, I'm very knowledgeable, cerebral when it comes to stuff. And it's thanks to them, like just having a chance to sit back and watch them play and not just be forced into a position where I got to go and play and perform, but I can watch guys who've done it at the highest level for a decade before I get out there and go try it myself.
Who's a dude? I mean, you just kind of hit it on it. But like, who are some guys that really helped you become a pros pro?
Oh, man. So I guess the biggest one I would say is Eric Weddle. Like I feel like I was kind of struggling a little bit my rookie year and just like retaining the information and just like how the coaches were teaching it. So I just kind of went up under his wing and he kind of taught me how to break down and watch film. I would, sit in there every single day with him, for I did this maybe for a couple weeks, but I sit in there with him and just watch him break down film, bro. And like, it's like, I sit there and watch him break down 150 clips of film in 40 minutes. Damn. And he watches it one time, writes something down, then goes to the next clip. And I'm gonna be honest, bro, like the first maybe couple days I was in there, I was just watching, bro. I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. I'm like, and so I'm just watching because I'm just trying to learn how to get it. And he's in there, he's breaking the film down by like down and distance, formation. He's writing everything down. And the cool thing about Dub is I've never been around somebody that everything they write down, they take with them into the game. Yeah. Usually some guys write a lot of stuff down. They take like 3 or 4 nuggets, like, all right, I'm going to take that with me. That applies to me. Dub's remembering all this shit. And the best example, this is like my welcome to the league moment. We're playing the Browns. It might have been like week 2. It's a night game. We're in Cleveland. And we're watching film, and Dub has like this take on Nick Chubb. He's like, all right, when he steps back, what are you noticing? And like, I literally just guessed. I'm like, it's a run. He's like, yeah. He's like, that's right. and he writes it down. I'm looking, bro, that's probably 2 out of 70 plays. So I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm not writing that shit down. Like, one, I'm at corner, I don't care about no damn run. And then 2, like, it's like, I'm not about to remember this shit. Bro, they play the entire game. The game gets down to the wire. I'm inactive. I'm in street clothes. I'm just looking at the iPad. The shit happens, bro. It was either 3rd or 4th down. He's in a half. He leaves his responsibility in the pass game and goes and makes the tackle, bro, and we get off the field. And, like, for him, it probably was just normal. He'd been in the league for 12 years at that point. But for me, like, everybody else is probably just a routine play. Like, oh, he just makes a tackle. But I'm like, bro, this man.
You saw that shit happen all the way through.
Exactly. I'm like, this man was studying this on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This play comes up in the 3rd or the 4th quarter. After it comes up at halftime, most people are like, man, fuck that shit. I'm thinking about what they ran. Like, he had enough, like, awareness, and then just, like, not only awareness, but, like, a lot of people see stuff and they don't believe it. Like, they're like, man, like, I see it, but, like, even for him, like, I'm a half. That's not my responsibility. Right. But, like, to see it,
trust that
go, shit. And then not only go, but make the play. I'm like, bro, like, that's something I'll always remember. Like, and it's something I've had to gradually, like, evolve and add to my game of just, like, you know, when you spend that much time, and Marcus Peters used to always say this, like, you spend this much time watching the film, like, you got to go make the play. Like, the small percentage or small chance that it's not that play, that's where your natural ability and your physical, you know, attributes, that's where that kicks in and you can clean it up and get through the play. But he's like, you watch too much film not to go cash in on these plays. And so I felt like that was my welcome to the league moment. Like, nobody talked about it during the game. Nobody knew what it went in.
He was on the sideline though. Yeah.
I went crazy, bro. I went crazy. I'm like, bro, that's the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. And it's just a normal, just out the post tackle for, you know, no
on
first
TV,
down.
nobody saw shit.
Yeah, nobody said, you know, Eric on the tackle. But I'm like, bro, y'all don't fucking know what just happened.
Behind the scenes, yeah, you see all the little stuff.
Y'all don't know what just happened. So, like, I would say Dub, like, you know, Dub really helped me just, like, that mindset of, like, going to make your plays, not being afraid to be wrong, because it's like you put so much time into it. You're going to be wrong regardless at some point in the game. Like, whether you being tapped in and you just trying to do your job, stuff's going to happen. And then also just, I guess, like, Aqib, MP, and then Jalen Ramsey got there week, maybe, like, right before the trade deadline. He was traded there.
Right.
And so just seeing him work, man, like, he's an alien, freak athlete. Drew was there with him. Yeah. You know, some things that Jalen does, other people aren't going to be able to do just by the anatomy of his body. But just seeing him work and his competitive edge and just the you know, bringing the juice, like you say, man, just the energy that he brings to the games, man, it just makes you want to do your 111th. You know, you don't want to be the guy that's not doing the right thing or fucking up. Absolutely.
I like how you said, like, one thing that's difficult, especially when reps are minimum, as you're trying to earn yourself as a rookie, maybe, you know, if you're a 7-year, 10-year vet, your string of going to try to risk and make those plays is much longer.
Absolutely.
Right? If you're a fucking dude who hasn't proved himself in the organization yet and you do some crazy shit like that and it doesn't work out.
Yeah, it's ugly.
It's tough. But having that confidence to do it is insane.
And that's the thing. Like, I feel like being with Dub, that's what I was saying, like, learning how to watch film, and I still use the methods that he used watching film to the day. Like, I'm able to get those, you know, reps and plays in without necessarily being on the field for the snaps needed. And that way, when I am in the game, it's like I'm just watching the same film I've been watching. Whereas before, like, I'm watching film and I'm like, I don't really know what to focus on, or I'm not understanding, like, what applies to me. So Dub helped me tremendously, man, just, like, from the entire game of just, like, slowing the game down for myself, you know, understanding, taking in information pre-snap, you know, indicators, all those things that people, like, talk about, but he really had down to a science.
You won the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Y'all both got rings.
1,000%.
Tell me.
Man.
Experience.
Super Bowl was a great year. Shout out Odell and Vaughn, man. They got there.
You guys had a squad, though.
Yeah.
Was that the year Cooper Kupp had Triple Crown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Odell and Vaughn, man. They got there and turned us up.
Turned it up crazy.
All the way up.
Super great.
But,
literally on and off the field.
I say that, man.
On and off the field.
You feel me? But I just say this, like, the biggest thing I would say is Eric Weddle coming back postseason, and then Vaughn getting there, because they gave us perspective on the postseason. Like me, I'm a young guy. Like I've been this is my third year in the league. My first year we missed the playoffs, but we were the only team above 500 to miss. My second year we made it to the second round, lost to Green Bay in the divisional round. And so it gets to a point where you're young and you just kind of feel like I was blessed to be on a good team, so it just feels like, every year we gonna kind of have a chance.
Right.
So it's easy for you as a young guy to be like, I'm gonna try, but it's always next year. But like Eric Weddle and Vaughn put it in perspective for me. It was one thing that Dub said, and he's like, man, I played in the AFC Championship 1 year, and I haven't been back since. And it's like, you've been playing for 12 years. You're a very decorated player. First team All-Pro, second team All-Pro. You've had plenty of interceptions, made tons of plays, but you're trying to pull all this together for one moment that you can't seem to grasp, like as an individual.
Right.
And then Vaughn was like, he just called it, he's like, man, football heaven, football heaven, football heaven. And like, he was like, we got to take this game going to divisional round. And really it was before the divisional round. It was maybe like the last 2 games of the season. And he's like, we got to go into these games like it's the Super Bowl. Because if we don't win, there is no Super Bowl. And for me as a young guy, like I'm all about like something that's tangible that I can apply and like fixate my mind on. So it's like, it wasn't even a ring or the trophy. It's like, if I treat every game like it's a Super Bowl, by the time I get there, it's not going to be stressful at all because I've prepped my mind for this. And that's really how it was when I got the Super Bowl. But, before I even get to that is like, I felt like from a team standpoint, that veteran leadership and perspective helped us because, and also I also got to shout out Sonny Michel. He won with the Patriots and he was a workhorse for us before Cam got back. He did a lot for us, man. That what was that, week 13 or 11 with the Cardinals, that night game? He carried us, man. So, and he gave us some perspective as well, man. And we also had a meeting where everybody brought in their rings, like everybody who had won. Vaughn brought in his, Joe D brought in his, Sony brought in his ring, and it's like, having that as an asset going into those games is like, you got people that have done it, can give you perspective. Exactly. It gives you real motivation because it's like, now it's something that's tangible. It's not just like you telling me like, all right, if you do this, this is going to happen, So it was a dope situation, bro, like having them there. And then just the game itself, man, like I always say this, I was more excited and more motivated to win for the guys around me, like AD, Jalen, Dub, guys that have made so much contribution to the game. It's
Trying
like
to get theirs.
Yeah, it's like I want to help them win. You feel me? Like, and it's dope that like I get to have a piece in that. I get to help them get to something they've been trying to get to. For me, it's like I'm still young, so I'm still fighting for my own individual accolades, whatever the case may be. But like in that moment, in that Super Bowl, all I was worried about is just doing my part for everybody else on the field.
Well, it definitely sounds like from, especially talking about earlier in the conversation, how the way you prepared in the Big Ten of like, I'm treating every game the same, damn.
Exactly, bro. Yeah.
Super Bowl happens, you win your ring. Tell me a little about like the business side of the league that you've experienced as a recent. I know last year you kind of bounced around a little bit. Right now you're with the Giants. I know you were talking to Mike. Shout out Michael Walker. Like, you're not used to that as a player. You're used to like getting recruited. You got drafted to the Rams. Yeah. Things went smooth, and then now you had a little bounce around period. From a mental standpoint, how was that an adjustment from what you were used to?
I mean, one, I say I'm real big on my faith. I've been through some adversity here and there in my life, but I feel like for me, I'm always gonna look at it like it's just a game of football.
Yeah.
Like as long as I'm healthy, as long as I'm good, like as long as I'm vertical, as I say, and on this side of the dirt, like I feel like I got action. So I don't really be tripping. Like, and I'm not saying that it don't get to you emotionally because, like, I know I can play.
Right.
I've done it at the highest level. So it is hard to be in situations and where you gotta play the background. But in general, I feel like my personality is, I've always been a guy that I don't mind wearing different hats for anybody to be successful.
Right.
Like whether I'm steering the boat or I'm cleaning the deck, like as long as we're moving in the right direction, I'm cool.
It's a bar.
Bar right
so
there.
like,
Get that one. I like that.
Bar. Hey, clip that shit.
I like how you said.
Yeah. So like I'm never really tripping off of what the situation is. So in those moments, I really check myself. Like it's really my pride, like when I get in situations where I'm bouncing around, like where I feel like, man, like it's a reflection of myself. I understand that how I feel about myself and what I know I can do, it starts and it stops and it ends there. Regardless of what's going on outside of me, whether I'm getting cut, whether I'm not playing, like it's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot of, politics and things, like, and we were talking about earlier, it's like they may have a guy that they drafted that they want to play. He's on a rookie contract. You're on a 1 year. Like if you go out and ball, they got to figure out how to pay you or replace you. Whereas like if this guy goes out and does all right, they got him for 3 years and they can figure it out.
It's a business.
And like, and that's what I'm saying. Like when you understand it to that level, you're not like, you don't take things as personal as much.
Right.
Like, you know, like you see it as like, you know, it's just business. I'll figure it out. But I mean, it is hard, you know, like you go from situations where you're playing and you're starting a Super Bowl to the next year, it's like you fighting for a roster spot and you figuring it out. But me, like I said, bro, I love the game. Like I love the game of football. Like I watch film. I love watching other people play the game, play at a high level. So like I said, man, for me, as long as we winning and moving in the right direction, like I said, whether I'm steering, whatever the case may be, bro, I'm all in. I'm all down for it, bro. I'm just excited to be a part of something. And I got to make this point is like, people got to understand that don't mean that you don't understand that you're not capable of steering the ship just because you're not in that position. You know, like sometimes that just be your role for that moment. You feel me? Like, and you
own
gotta,
your role.
Yeah, just literally just own your role. Like,
Yeah.
like people feel like because people are happy in their position that they're settling or like, oh, like man, you should want more for yourself. It's like I do, but it's like I also understand my circumstance and my environment.
Gotta be where my feet is at.
I gotta be where my feet at. Like I can't try to earn a starting role without mastering the role that I'm in right now.
Man,
like,
say it one more time.
Yeah, like my mindset is always on that. I know I'm a starter. I know I can be a starter in the NFL. But until then, let me maximize this. If I'm not getting no reps, let me, you feel me, get right on scout team. Make sure the receivers is right. Let me work on my tech after practice. Yeah. And like for me, like I said, I have no pride. I'm a 5th-year dude in Vegas who just won a Super Bowl, and I'm doing this stuff after practice.
Right.
Like a lot of people, my pride itself, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm human. Like it's times where I'm like, man, like I'm really out here doing this. Like I'm doing something I was doing my second or my first year, but it's like that's just the grind, bro. Like, man, feel me? Like I'm just happy to be here to still be able to be healthy and doing it.
Yeah.
So
that's extremely mature of you to say that shit. Like from a business standpoint and a man standpoint, like it takes like a lot of people can't think and operate like that.
And I feel like I said, bro, I'm real big into my faith, and I feel like I'm able to lean into it in that sense, like where it's like if I don't understand something, man, I'm gonna trust God and go hard. So I can't really get caught up in, you know, what somebody else is going on. I don't believe nobody controls my destiny. The moment I feel like somebody else controls my destiny, now I'm veering off my path and my purpose, trying to persuade them or do this, whatever the case may be. Whatever is for you, God got for you, bro. As long as you just lock in, do what you need to do. Like I said, trust God, like the path gonna open up. But the moment you start focusing on this person and that person, it's like, you move yourself from the place that God has placed you. And that's why I say, like, don't ever look at your situation, or I never look at my situation as, like, God's favor in my life or an expectation or for what's to come. It's like sometimes he could just be holding you off. Like, I think about David in the Bible, like, he was a shepherd, like, before he killed Goliath. Like, if he was thinking that in his position, like, man, I'm just herding sheep, whatever the case may be, like, he would have never been ready for his moment when it came to whatever he was doing. And he did a lot of great things in the Bible. But I'm like, I just think, I mean, my name is David. You feel me? It's always a hand-in-hand thing. It's my favorite story in the Bible. But I think about him, like, he exercised a level of humility and just being humble and mastered his role. And when it changed, like, he was prepared for it. He had been taking care of his business and doing what he was doing, not pouting, saying I'm capable of doing this, or I know I can do this. He just did what he did. And he didn't have to go, and the beauty of it is he didn't have to go chasing opportunity. It came to him.
Right.
You feel me? Like, and that's the biggest thing. Like, when you focus on the right thing, got your mind in the right place, you don't have to chase nothing. You don't have to do nothing other than be yourself, and it's going to happen for you. So I feel like that's been kind of like a microcosm or just a small example of my time in the league. Like, I know I'm capable of so much. I still feel like my best football is ahead of me. But whatever situation I'm in, I'm just going to master that and be as great as I can at it.
Shit, amen, bro.
Amen to that, man. It's easy, man. People don't know behind the scenes, man, how that goes, man.
Air this shit out and bring the juice, baby.
I was about to say, yeah, and it's tough, bro. Like, and I got a lot of respect for anybody that's in the league, you know, trying to get back in the league, trying to make it shake, because it's tough, bro. Like, it is a portion of pride. Like, I've been in the league going on 6 years, and there's so many guys that are out of the league not because of their talent. It's just like their mindset, and it is hard. It's hard to be in a situation where you know you can play and you being downplayed, and you got to come in there with a smile on your face.
Every day.
You know your value. You know what you're capable of. And it's like it's hard to show up every single day knowing, and it's right in your face. It's not like they're hiding it. Like, it's right in your face. Like, they may have cut you during training camp and brought you back. They may have you on practice squad. They may be cutting you every other week and bringing you back. And it's like the normal person is going to tell you, you're getting paid millions of dollars. You should be happy to do this. But it's like, this is my craft.
Right.
That's what I'm working years at.
I spend 5 months a year working out and these are my results. Like, how do you expect me to not be emotionally attached to what's happening to me?
Yeah.
And like I said, for me, the biggest thing is I'm process driven, bro. I don't think about the results because, like I said, it's politics. There's circumstances. Somebody could get hurt and from a roster standpoint and change your whole destiny.
Right.
And like, you got to realize, like, man, just focus on the process, bro. That's out of my control. Like, somebody gets hurt, they got to bring somebody off IR, they cut you. You walking around moping, this all above you. Like, and I'm not saying that you just gonna be straight faced and like, I don't care. You definitely gonna feel away, but it's like, you can't let that creep into your preparation and just how you come into work and prep. Because like, that's another reason why guys get out the league. They let that creep into their mind. They come in with an attitude. They bullshit in their practice. Might get a chance to get in the game bullshitting. And while it's all warranted, everything they going through, nobody cares.
Right.
Like, the GM's not going to say, oh, man, I get what you've been going through. They're going to get you out of there.
It's a business,
get somebody else in here. So you got to understand that portion of it.
Man, I hope all the young kids.
I was gonna say, bro, we got the young bulls.
Yeah.
Seventh graders need to listen to this shit.
Oh, really? Because man, nowadays, people are so quick to quit, give up, or not like their situation.
Hey,
and
bro, you just got to grind it out,
gotta
bro.
see it through, man. So I hope
you got to grind it out, bro. Like, and I know everybody on social media want to be a superstar
and want to be the man,
best player, want Instagram and do all this, but it's like a part of that you don't see, bro, is just grinding. Like, it's gonna be a grind for a lot of it. Like, even I think about my Super Bowl year, bro. I didn't really play leading up to Super Bowl year. I put so much time and effort. It was so much trial and error for that one win. Like, people just see it like I just woke up that year and like, oh, you slated to go play. Like, I went through stuff that year that I didn't really trip off and stress on. I just kept pushing.
Talk about when you started playing, though, that year, man. Playoff run, interceptions. Come on now, man. Talk about that. Touchdowns.
I
didn't see that clip. I didn't see that clip.
Yeah, what? Started balling in the play. Come on now. I had to see it through.
I ended up playing, but that's what I'm saying. Like, even in that situation, man, like, had I been just harping on my circumstance throughout the year, it would have been tough, bro. Like, it would have been tough for me to bounce back mentally.
You wouldn't have been that person you was at the end of the year. Like, I could vouch for it. I seen you. I see how you operate, how you go about your business.
Sometimes there's darkness before there is light type shit.
Oh, 1,000%.
Still handled this business the same way that whole year.
That's
playing,
what I'm saying. Like, whether I was playing, whether I was up, bro. I was never a nuisance in the locker room or slighting nobody on no information. Like I said, I'm wearing whatever hat. I went from playing the first 2 weeks, 3-4 weeks to shoot. I'm not even playing special teams. I'm just suiting up. I'm basically being a model. I'm a LA Rams model for, you feel me, a portion of a few weeks. You feel me? And I'm still being interactive.
Still the same person.
Trying to help all the guys out there that are playing. Still being myself. And I feel like just from a man's standpoint, like you say, that's the hardest thing to do is, be yourself when it's hard to be yourself. It's easy to be yourself when everything going good. But when things are going bad, like, that's when you got to lean back on the real morals and values that you say you stand on, quote unquote.
Yeah. I could congratulate you from seeing that
Appreciate
up close
bro.
and personal, man. I saw you be that starter, have the little stuff go on, whatnot. You know how it go, and to still be that person, prepare the same way, operate the same way, and then just to all see how it played out at the end for you. Get to see you.
1,000%.
I was lit for you. I wasn't even with the team no more, and I'm seeing my dog get picked, score. I'm turned just to see how the whole thing kind of played out, how it went. And
always want to see the boys eat.
Yeah, and just to see, but to see how he did it though, like, because it's easy to be in that position and kind of to lose that focus, that faith in yourself, and to just go about it different. You see it every day in that locker room, like,
1,000%.
guys, little stuff like that. I've been there. You start to operate different and feel different about things, but just to watch him still do his thing, study the same way, prepare the same way, and let it all come back and just play out how it should for him, man. So I could congratulate him.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, seeing that, man. And glad it all played out how it did, man. Still here, still fighting, still grinding, man. Still going, man.
D-Lo, this has been lit. I'm going to wrap it up. The Hennessy's cold in the freezer. Tequila's on the way.
Absolutely, bro.
We're at Newport Beach, baby. Bring the juice. Get your piss hot. Fire me up. I can't wait for this Fresno State Michigan game.
Oh, man.
I can't wait for this. I'm going to bring that back. We're going to talk my shit. I'll throw you in the group messages with Sean McKeon that week. All my dogs. We'll link up in Ann Arbor, baby.
I got to take you to some spots, man.
I could
Zimmerman's, Blimpy Burger. You feel me?
I like
world
Blimpy's.
famous Blimpy Burger.
I like the spots.
Come on, man.
I'll be wearing.
Get my dog right out there, man. Get him right out there. Yeah.
I appreciate you slide on the pod. Bring the juice. We'll get you right with some hats. Juju, great co-host skills, baby.
Trying to, man.
Come on now.
My dog coming through, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah. So y'all be sure to follow D-Lo on the gram. Get your piss hot. Stay fired up. And we will see you next week.
Absolutely.